In this video, you guys, we're going to be talking about how to set this controller up, the DX3, to have Bluetooth to the Vortex here. And what that's going to require is a $15 Bluetooth module, the BT2000. I've already got mine opened up. It comes on this little foam piece, and I've had it apart already. It is a little bit tricky to get off of here. It doesn't feel like it's supposed to come off, but trust me, it does. And so there is our little module. So there it is, the BT2000 little. It's got 4 pins on the bottom. And basically what we're going to do here is we're going to remove this top, which if you have fingernails, you might be able to get in there and get it out. I do not have fingernails, so I need a screwdriver, or I'm going to use my little knife here that I keep on me at all times. We're going to pop that off of there, and you can see inside of here where that is going to mount up to. Right in there, there are 4 little pinholes that this is going to sit right into. So you just got to line it up and push it into place like so. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and download their app that they have. I've already got it downloaded on mine. It's called Spektrum Dashboard here. Right here. I'm going to click on it. It's going to open it up. Now, the one thing is, I have an iPhone X, and it kind of goes edge to edge on here a little bit. You can flip your phone over, have it go the other way if you want, so that there's notches here, whatever. However you want to work it. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to power on, and I'm going to hit the bind button on the Bluetooth module here. You'll see it's now flashing like crazy in there. And then I'm going to hit the Bluetooth on here, and we can see that it is showing up that it wants to bind now. So I'm going to click on it. Pairing requests. We're going to say pair it. All right. So we hit the pair button, and you can see it's now a solid red on there. You can see that the Bluetooth is blue on here. So we should be good to go and see some of the different settings on here. Let me grab a stand. Yes, there are some expensive stands. I choose to use foam yoga blocks from Walmart. They're my go-to RC stand these days. Move stuff out of the way. I go ahead and take this module here for the DX3. It's their phone mount. And the model number for this is the SPM 9070. These run $17, so $15 for the Bluetooth module, $17 if you want to have this little phone mount there. I will say that I do have to and recommend holding on to it as you install this. Because depending on how you have it set up, mine's set up to push it forward on. And if I pushed it forward on without holding on, this would come unclicked. It's kind of the nature of the beast of how this is set up. So I'll just kind of hold on here, put it in place. Now you've got it set up here. So we're going to go back to our app. Everything's still connected. You see our RPMs are going up here. Gives you that data. It would be giving you speed. Now, for the speed to be accurate, you got to measure the rollout and all of that. I don't have it for this particular car yet, but there are other things that this is good for. We can see our battery voltage as well on here. Down here is showing what our drive pack has left on it, 12.5 volts. The temperature of our ESC and all that is 82 degrees. So that does give you some cool settings there. Status. You can go in here, you can set your travel. So if I turn the car toward you, and you see me turning left, as I adjust this, it'll set your endpoint, how far it'll allow it to turn left. See how I'm still holding full left on here, but that rate is almost nothing. To the right I've got a lot more, but that is all I can get to the left now, that very little bit. So you can find out where the end limit is. And then usually what I do is I just back up just a little bit from the furthest point so that I don't put too much wear on that servo. Like how far can it go? I can go there. So right there, I backed it off just a little bit. That way I'm not putting extra tension on that servo when I get to the full end and it's still trying to pull or push and the tires aren't going anywhere. That's just unnecessary wear. So I've now set my endpoints. This is one of my favorite things about having this app, more than even some of the data that it shows, is this ability to set this. Because steering rate as well would have kind of set that, but now that it's got AVC, you're not using this steering rate to do steering rate. You're using that for your AVC amounts. You've got travel limits here for your throttle. All right, so while we're talking about speed, I do want to say how to set your speeds and so that it'll be accurate. You have to know a couple things. You have to know the rollout. So for the infraction, the rollout is 1.51. So if I want to get an accurate speed reading for that, I'm going to set it to 1.51, as you see right there. The other thing that you have to do is you swipe over or you tap over to the RPMs, and you have to make sure it's set to the right pole count for the motor. And so since it's a 4-pole motor, we want to have that at 4 poles and we're good to go. So that's how you do it. I don't know it for the vortex yet, so we won't be able to get that. And the way to do it is you mark the pinion and you count how many times that mark goes around, and you count to 10. And on the 10th one where it stops on a ruler, it'd give you the amount of rolls that it did, and you divide that by the number 10 that you had done. So it'd be, so if you went like 20 inches from the center of your tire to the center of your tire at 10 rolls, it would be, if it was say 20 inches, you'd divide that by the 10 rolls that you did, and you'd have a rollout of 2. So it's a little bit complex, and the way that the pinion is set up in the vortex, I can't quickly do it right now for this video, but hopefully they'll have that information for us, because you can also do it using gear ratios, pinions, spur gear, and some other information in order to find that out. You've got aux settings. So if you're using this Bluetooth module, say with the infraction, and it has a brake that runs on the aux channel here, and you want to set the endpoints of that brake, maybe that servo is hitting and it's still trying to push the brake, you can turn those down here, the travel limits on that, which is really nice. So you've got that secondary servo in there that's operating it on the infraction. You can set it there. So your auxes can be set, and you can go in and set those different trims and all of that. You can set your steering reverses and all that, but we're set to normal on the radio, sub trims, and go in here then to telemetry setup, system setup. You can go in and set up your driver name. So you could say here CCxRC, we'll put in for ours. You could go in and if you want metric or imperial, how you want that to work. And whoops, model setup only wants to work in this direction. So let's go ahead and spin the controller around. You can take a picture of the image if you want. Pull up the camera right now. Put our lid on here. Allow it to access it. And we do have to take it off of here, because the one thing that I wish that this had was the ability to tilt enough that you could actually use this module to also record your vehicle. I just feel like that's, you know, something that could be added just by adding a little bit more height to this. It would allow you to get this up so you could tilt it and actually be recording from this using your camera. But it's not set up to do that without having to really hold it funny. But you can see here now I've got my model image set in there. I can say what kind of battery type I'm using, 3S LiPo, my spur pinion, so I know that it's got it saved in there for me. You can send your speeds and all that to social media if you set these up. And yeah, it gives you all your kind of information about your transmitter firmware, transmitter serial number, Bluetooth firmware, all of that. So gives you a little bit of info. You can do the update in this as well. Then you've got your telemetry setup. So this is where you can see what kind of alerts you want, alarm if you hit a certain voltage. It can show your current, upper limits, your speed. It'll display that and it'll hold your upper speed. RPM is displayed. Let's go back to our current, we'll have that be displayed. And then our temps, those are set to be displayed. And we'll get alarms. You can set it if it gets above, say 200 degrees. Well, let's just say 180. But it's got all these different features in here that you can use with your car, as well as just going back to your dashboard now. See, it's showing the temperature. It's also showing the amperage. So one of the things to note about this is that speed is being generated using RPMs, your rollout settings, all of that, and the motor pole count in order to basically figure out the speed. So the rollout would be the wheels, the size of all that, and how far it goes to roll a distance. And then it can use that data to calculate what speed you'd have been going. So the part that's deceiving is you could go full blast off of a start and it could spin tires and it might not give you an accurate reading. You might never get up to full speed after that. But I've checked it when I'm doing speed runs and where I'm slowly getting up to speed, and it's pretty accurate within 1 mile or 2 miles per hour of the actual GPS speedometer that I had on there. I have a test of that on the Low C Tenacity DB Pro. So you can see that. That's when that came out. And I was running the module on there for that. And it's pretty cool how accurate that was. But again, if you're just tearing up dirt and it's just all of its tire spin at the beginning, but you're full throttle and it's full RPMs on that motor, but you're not going fast yet, it may say that you've hit your 50 miles an hour or whatever it would top out at, even though you don't. But when you're doing speed runs, like I said, it's pretty accurate. Anyway, guys, some of the things that I do love about it is being able to set endpoints now for left and right. Pretty cool how this works. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. As always, feel free to let me know what you think down in the comments below. And hope you guys have fun RCing. We'll catch you next time.